Some more comments that were made recently come from Shaquille O'Neal, the big man himself. He said that Caitlin Clark essentially is not all that great right now, and she needs to wait her turn, wait for a changing of the guard from people like Asia Wilson. And I disagree with that just based off the production that Caitlin Clark is having already. Shaq's main point was that, yeah, Caitlin Clark is doing good, but she's still not a great player in the WNBA immediately. So while we're supporting her, we should also take the time to support other greats in the WNBA right now. But my response to that is Caitlin Clark is already one of the best players in the league as a rookie. She's leading the WNBA in assists, leading them in, I believe, 3 points made, and she's top 10 in scoring. So she is already setting records as a rookie. And so, yeah, I think the Caitlin Clark love is all well-deserved. She doesn't need to wait her turn just because you're a rookie. If you're putting up great numbers and having great impact, and she's not having an impact on just her team, but the WNBA as a whole, she's drawing so much revenue and attention to it, you don't need to wait your turn because guess what? You've taken your turn. And you've solidified yourself already as the face of the WNBA because you're marketable and you're a great player. And that's what Caitlin Clark is. She's performing very well right now. The top vote getters in the All-Star game, that rose by, I believe it was 635% with the addition of Caitlin Clark this year. She brings so much attention to the WNBA, and it's well-deserved because she's already such a good player, and you can't make the overrated argument because she's putting up the production and has the impact to back it up. So I disagree with the fact she needs to wait her turn. And generally, Shaq kind of denounced, the hate, saying it's not hating, that she just needs to wait her turn. But really, some of the WNBA players, they have hated on the idea of Caitlin Clark being this big marketable star already. There's been instances in games where they're just shoving her and overall just disrespecting her for no proper reason. I think generally the idea is that they kind of feel threatened by their spot because Caitlin Clark is coming in as a rookie and having this huge impact, that the existing players, they kind of feel threatened by that, and like they're still they gotta fight to keep their spot in this league. Because if Caitlin Clark is coming in the league this year and being so good, what happens if the talent pool continues to just improve? Because that means there's going to be a big changing of the guard, and new great players are going to come in, and all of a sudden, it's not going to be on the level of Caitlin Clark, but all of a sudden, you're fighting for your spot with these new young players coming in, and so they just don't like to see the change in the guard, in my opinion, and I think she's a net positive, no doubt, no matter how you want to look at it for the WNBA, from a production standpoint, from an impact standpoint, to a marketing standpoint. There's no reason for Clark to wait her turn if she is already performing at such a high level and being marketable at such a high level. There's a reason the WNBA is pushing her, and the attention she gets is natural. It's not forced, like a Jason Tatum. Like Tatum, he catches a lot of flack because the NBA, they market him as a superstar, and he's more borderline. I would consider him a superstar because he's a top 6 player in the league, I would say. But generally, he, as a superstar, he's maybe the worst superstar in the league, and that's not a bad thing because you're still no doubt a top 10 player, but he's not up there with a guy like Jokic or Luka or Giannis or even SGA. So I think that's the difference. A guy like Tatum, that's more force, and he catches hate for that. But Caitlin Clark, the reaction to her originally, in the pre-draft process when she was balling out for Iowa, that was natural. We were all recognizing how great this Caitlin Clark chick was. So now the fact that she's coming into the NBA and she's continued to show what she can do, there's no doubt in my mind that she does not need to wait her turn, and that the turn is waiting for her. She runs. The league would not be where it is right now if she was not coming in. And Angel Reese, she can make her comments about how she's very important to it too, and it doesn't hurt to have her around too, especially as a rival to Caitlin Clark. But in general, I think it's pretty clear that Caitlin Clark is on track to be one of the greatest WNBA players of all time, and impact-wise, perhaps the greatest, leaving a lasting impact on the legacy of the WNBA and getting people interested. And I think that she should not catch near as much hate as she does. If you enjoyed this video, it would be great if you could find it in you to like, subscribe, maybe check out the full podcast on Spotify, follow us on there, follow us on Instagram. I know realistically this podcast isn't going to go anywhere ultimately, whether it's via the segments on YouTube or the entire podcast itself. But I want to get into the sports broadcasting business. I want to be able to promote thought-provoking discussions about the NBA, and I would love to do it via State of the Association. Thank you if you made it all the way through.